Hi friends, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my channel. And I really love this pendant. Unfortunately, I have two of them and I don't want two of a kind. I also have a paint marker for crafting, and this one is turquoise. We're going to paint this. Then I'm going to have to set it aside, and let it dry before I can actually do anything with it. I still kind of want to do something with this pendant and with these, but I may not. I don't know. I'm still up in the air. So we're just going to go ahead and I will probably, dab some of this because it's not going to get in every little nook and cranny. And I don't want it to. I'm just going to go over it, not worry about, it being on every little bit and piece of it. Kind of make it look a little distressed kind of looking. And I kind of like what the plastic did with it. I may just go over it and kind of press the plastic to it and then kind of let that dry because it took all that excess paint off from it. I like that. Happy little things happen when you do something strange. So we're just going to go ahead and let that dry. I will go over that with a coat of nail polish. And what do we want to do? Because it came in, I believe, was it this box? No. It was in all of these. And I do want to put away, I don't know, I'm kind of wanting to keep that turquoisey color going. Maybe. We'll see. I have so many fun little things to use. But I kind of like that little notion that's going on there. I have gone over mine with water. They do not, the color does not come off. So I may use those also. I still haven't used them. Or I just may hang it on some hoarding of some sort. I have all kinds of baggies in here and they're kind of making it hard to see. So let's see what I can come up with. And I'll bring you right back. Okay, let me get you a little better centered. There we go. And I'll bring you down just a hair. Alright. So here is what the pendant looks like. I did coat it with, and all I use is a clear nail polish. And I do that because some people will have reactions to the some of the coating. And 99.9% of people can wear nail polish. So that's why I use a clear nail polish. It is a lacquer, so it usually is pretty good to use. So here I have, and it's coated front and back. So it is sealed, and it looks very kind of rustic. So we've got that ready to go. I do have a 4mm jump ring that we're going to put on this, or it might be a 5. It's not real tiny, so this one might be a 5mm. And we're just going to twist it open. We're going to put our this one might not be small enough. Let me see if it's going to go. Oh yeah, it's going to be fine. Okay, so I have my design here, and I also have some 7-strand beading wire. It is just as strong as the 49 strand. It's just not as flexible. So I think I'm going to cut off right about here. Find my clippers. I do have my design laid out. I did go to the, gosh, what was this called with all of the, is it Desert Sand? Is that the one from Bargain Bead Box? This is all Bargain Bead Box. There will be a code on the screen to save you $2 off your first month's subscription. It is Dragonfly 2, all capital letters. And a link will be down below. So I am going to put a clip on one end just to keep myself from losing everything. And I do have out 2 clamshells and 2 crimp tubes. And I have a lobster clasp. And when I get done, I will get out the rest of my, because I'll need a small, 2 small, well actually 3 small jump rings, and then a 6mm jump ring. So I'm going to put him on. I swear I need to get a better bead mat. So here we go. We have that. And then I'm going to bead one side and then the other. And I'm putting some of these little bicones. I know a lot of people don't like getting them, but I do, because they do have a little bit of flash, so they're nice and, you know, shiny looking and all that. And they kind of work really nice as a spacer bead. And then I'm using these real pretty turquoise colored faceted beads. I believe they were a 6x4 if I'm not mistaken. And gosh, I'm trying to remember how I had these set up, because I moved everything a little bit and brought it down farther. And then I'm going to put another one on. And this is the only place that I actually do them that direction. When I go up the other side, the green will be against the bead cap. I'm also using the bead caps from that month's box. Then I'm going to use these, I believe these were howlite that were made to look like turquoise. And then I'm putting these flower spacer beads between that howlite bead and another one. And then I'm adding a bead cap facing that one. And then I'm going to go into another little faceted bead, a little bicone, and then I'm going to put on 2 of the little turquoise faceted beads, a bicone, another turquoise. So far what I have is that pattern. And then I'm going to use another spacer or bead cap. And I'm going to repeat what I did earlier with these. A bead cap, a flower spacer after the howlite, another howlite, another bead cap, and then here at the end I'm just going to use a little turquoise faceted bead and a bicone and another bead. And I may decide to put a little spacer bead there at the end before I'm finished. And then I'm going to put my clip on the other end. And I do have plenty of extra. I use my extras on making bracelets and that kind of thing. And then I'm simply going to do the other way, the same that I did the first side. So I have that first section, so they match. And then I will go into the bead cap, the little turquoise looking highlight, flower spacer, the highlight, flower space, or bead cap. Then we're going to do, just like I did over here, I changed the pattern. So it's going to be one of the faceted beads, one of the bicones, and then two of the turquoise faceted beads, a bicone, a turquoise faceted bead. So that's where we are at the moment. And we're going to go ahead and use another bead cap, the turquoise highlight, flower spacer, turquoise highlight, bead cap facing the big bead, turquoise faceted bead, the little bicone, whoops, dropped my wire, and then one of these little turquoise beads. And I'm debating, because I am using this, whether or not I want a bead. I think I will. Let me grab a, oops, that's for the next video. I'm going to get a 3.2 millimeter antique silver spacer bead to put on the end of each side of that to help finish it and tie it off. It'll look really, really nice. Oh, while I'm in this, I need one of these. These are like 18 gauge, or are these the 20 gauge? Yeah, these are 20 gauge. I like the thicker, heavier ones for clasping into, because they have a less tendency to come open. So I wanted to get that out. And then while I'm right here getting out those, we will need 3 of the 4 millimeter. 1, 2, and 3. Now we'll finish up. Get him back out of our way. So, like I said, I knew I had cut off quite a bit because I am going to be doing a bracelet here in a little bit. So I put on my little spacer bead. I really like how that looks. It ties in the rest of the silver. And we are going to add our clamshell. You go up through the little hole in the bottom of the clamshell, through the mouth of that clamshell, and drop him out of our way. We're going to pick up our 2 millimeter crimp tube. Those are the most common. And I also have a 2x1 that I use on Coriana chain. And I'm going to smash that down. I'm going to pull here, and I'm also going to bring my clamshell up, and I'm going to give it another tug test. It is not going anywhere. I'm going to fold that over. I'm going to give it just a gentle smush closed, and then I'm going to press this good and tight, because this will actually clasp onto itself and make a nice tight seal. We're dropping all the beads down to the end. That is really, I'm glad I did that. Really pretty. I like that effect. Now we are going to make sure our beads stay put. I am going to nip off all that extra. We have enough to do an entire bracelet. So we're going to do that. And we're going to kind of, make sure our beads are all down in place. Plus, we're going to make sure that this is not poker straight. So I'm going to grab my next clamshell, but I'm going to open this one up nice and wide so we can get in it. We're going to put it again through the bottom, out through the mouth, drop it out of our way. We're going to grab our next little crimp tube, and we're going to drop this one all the way down inside of our clamshell. And my pliers are magnetized. Look at that. And there's no way to demagnetize them that I know of that probably won't destroy my pliers. So I'm grabbing them and this crimp, and I'm going to press down into that and then squish. And that's going to hopefully make sure that my crimp was down in there and my pliers didn't pull it back up out. You may not have to push down in like I do, but that's because they're magnetized, and I could pick up, well, depending on what they are, I could pick up quite a few things. So I'm making sure that that is nice and tight. I'm going to do a tug test, and it's on there good. I'm going to nip off that excess, but you don't want to get right up against that crimp tube. Leave yourself just a little bit sticking out and get rid of that. I'm going to close this, whoopsie, all the way, and then I'm going to press gently and then squish that piece together. Ah, did you see what I did, guys? Hold on, let me fix this. So if you just seen my boo-boo and you're wondering how in the world is she going to fix this, I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to cut this off. These are going to kind of slide off. Well, he actually just shot across there. We are going to slide all of these off. We're going to kind of try to keep them in order a little bit so I know how to put them back on. We're going to take this off from here. And, well, I don't know, I might be able to utilize it. Let's see if I can get that closed tight enough that the wire's not going to come through there. Because what I want to do is I'm going to make a loop. We're going to crimp this. Let me get some of the copper crimp tubes. We're going to need 2 of them. We're going to crimp it. Or we could completely restring it, which we could do, but I want to show you an alternative. We're going to grab this copper crimp tube. We're just going to drop it on there. And this will give you another option if you're using like spare wire and you just want to use 2 short pieces of wire. And this is also really cute because we can see the wire in the front. And with colored wire, that is really actually kind of cute. Oh, I wanted to go through that bicone. Let me back it. Whoops, I'm off screen. So what I'm doing is I'm going to back this up because I want this to go through at least that bicone. So let's say you have 2 pieces of wire that are too short to really use for one necklace. This is a good way to use it. So we're going to tighten this up. And I want that little piece of wire to show. Okay. I want to make sure I'm hanging it. Well, maybe not. You know what? He'll hang wrong, won't he? So we'll have to take that off. He won't hang right. So scratch what I said. Let's go ahead and take that off, and we'll just hang it right directly from that. Oops, I just knocked them for a loop. We're going to go ahead and take that off there. We won't need it for this. So it's a lesson. Didn't mean for it to be, but there's no reason to say, oh my gosh, I messed up. I ruined it and have to restring the whole thing. We're just going to make it look a little different. All right, now we're going to pull this up. I want to leave that little bit of wire right there. Now you do want to make sure that your necklace is still loosey-goosey. Kind of like that little bit of length of wire. Grab my crimping pliers. I am going to put it in there. I'm going to press, and I'm going to turn it sideways, put it in the last groove, and press it. And I made myself a crimp. I'm checking, it's nice and snug. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my tail. And that looks nice and smooth as long as the other side is good like that. I'm not going to worry about a crimp tube. Let's see, is that plenty long enough? We'll find out. I have a longer piece. I believe this one is longer. I want the longest piece I have laying here because I want room to crimp. So let's go ahead and crimp this on first. So we're just going to go ahead and put our crimp tube on. So if you make a mistake like I just did, let's go ahead and put our bead over here so we don't forget it again. Don't panic. Just go on with life and fix it. So I'm going to do just what I did on the other side. I'm going to match up my length. I want it a little bit smaller. I like that. Oops, it slid. Let's get a hold of it with my other side of my fingers. And then I can hold them together. Right about there. Lay it in the divot. Crimp. Turn it sideways. Squeeze again. And that one did not crimp as pretty, and it did not hold. Just what I thought. Hold on, let me get another crimp tube. Okay, because this side doesn't look quite as pretty, I am going to put a crimp cover on it And I'm just going to, if I can get him to go on there. They are fiddly little boogers sometimes. Sometimes they go right on. Sometimes I have to fiddle. Just like that, they should go on. And I'm taking just my chain nose pliers and I'm going to fold it down around. And close him up. That looks so cool. Kind of make him look a little rounder. You do want to go gently with these. And I did fold him so he's folded towards the back, just to make him look a little nicer in the front. Oops. And I won't make you wait for the second one. Okay, so I have them on. I actually kind of like that. That is so cool. So I'm going to go ahead and bead string this. You don't have to watch it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished it up and I put the new clamshell on. Yes, I remembered. And I measured this. This is 9 inches. I'm going to have an inch worth of all of this. Well, 9 inches is counting this. This and this is going to be an inch. So that makes that total 10 inches. I'm going to make it 20. So this is 5 inches and, well, just over 5 inches, just under 5 inches. This will have the clasping and the jump ring for to put the lobster on, and this side will have just the jump ring to put into. So we're going to go ahead and put that together. I do that because I want the jump ring and the lobster and the jump ring to be in the center of your back of your neck when you're wearing it. This way everything lays evenly when you have it on. So we're going to open our 4mm jump ring. We're going to put our chain on. This is very tiny chain. When I went to Walmart, I was going to buy a few extra things, and you know, they've been clearing off their jewelry stuff, and I was like, okay, what are they doing now? They no longer carry the spools of chain like they did the last time they cleared it off. So now I'm going to be on the hunt for where do I buy bulk chain, because it is very expensive, $3 and change, to buy a package of chain that's just, you know, 100 inches. That's crazy. I would have to up my prices and people would not like that. So, there's that. And then on this side, we'll get the longer piece of chain and the 6mm 20 gauge jump ring. So yeah, there's that. They also are back to carrying bead strands at like $4 a strand in our local Walmart. And have you seen the price of eggs? $3.73. Yeah, it was like $3.67 for or $3.97 for a dozen, and $5.77 for a package of 18. I about flipped. I was like, well, I guess I'm done with eggs. So, anyways, there we go. Look at that added. And we turned that little boo-boo into a really nice design. Something a little different. I like the way that looks. It brings that copper and brown up into the necklace. It looks really nice. I like the way that looks, the way it makes it flow into the silver a little better. And of course I pick it up and disrupt it. And I turned it over. I'm an idiot. Go ahead and say it, guys. But anyways, I love how that looks. Very pretty. So there you have it, guys. Don't ever despair when you make a boo-boo. You don't always have to restring the whole thing. Look for another way to design it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this video. I'm sorry it ended up being a little bit longer than I planned on, but that's the way it goes. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.